Breaking news right now as I'm speaking to you. 12 jurors have just stepped into a Manhattan federal courtroom to decide the fate of Sean Diddy Combs. After 7 weeks of jaw-dropping testimony, we are now moments away from learning if the hip-hop mogul will spend the rest of his life behind bars. This is Hollywood tea, and what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind. Today marks one of the most pivotal moments in hip-hop history. The jury, made up of 4 women and 8 men, is deliberating whether Diddy is guilty of operating a criminal empire that spans over 20 years. And let's be clear, this isn't some minor charge. We're talking about life behind bars. If convicted on all counts, Diddy faces life plus 50 years. That's essentially a death sentence for the 55-year-old music executive. Here's what's at stake. Diddy is facing 5 major federal charges that could completely wipe out everything he's built. First, racketeering conspiracy under the RICO Act. That alone carries a life sentence. Then there are 2 charges of sex trafficking through force, fraud, and coercion, each with a minimum of 15 years and a max of life. And finally, 2 counts of transporting individuals for prostitution, which carry up to 10 years each. Add it, all up life plus 50 years. Now let's talk about the evidence that has Hollywood in absolute shock. Over the course of 29 days, prosecutors brought in 34 witnesses to build what they say is an undeniable picture of celebrity-fueled abuse and control. The star witness, Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex, who spent 4 intense days testifying about what prosecutors described as Freakoff's drug-filled sex parties involving male escorts, with Diddy allegedly watching, filming, and pleasuring himself. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Jurors were shown disturbing hotel surveillance footage from 2016, and I cannot stress this enough, where Diddy is seen dragging Cassie down a hallway, throwing her to the ground, and kicking her multiple times. This wasn't a fight, this was a violent attack caught on camera. The prosecution also played voice messages where Diddy allegedly ordered supplies for these freakoffs, quote, baby oil, Astroglide, lubricant and Cialis. They backed this up with receipts for airfare, hotel bookings, and car services, all for male escorts. This wasn't spontaneous. Prosecutors say this was organized exploitation. And let's not forget the witnesses who risked their lives to speak. Kid Cudi claimed his car was firebombed after dating Cassie. A former assistant said she was kidnapped twice, threatened with death, and held against her will for 5 days. Another assistant, testifying under the name Mia, alleged sexual assault and said she saw Diddy assault Cassie firsthand. But one of the most jaw-dropping revelations came from a woman named Jane, who said Diddy's favorite show was Dine, a true crime series focused on murder and disappearances. Now get this, Diddy's defense shocked everyone. They didn't call a single witness, not one. They rested in under 30 minutes. But the real twist, their closing argument, Diddy's lawyer Mark Agnifilo spoke for 5 hours and admitted Diddy was a flawed man with a drug problem who had hit his girlfriends. But then, and this is wild, he claimed the freakoffs were just consensual adult videos and that Diddy and Cassie's relationship was some sort of tragic love story. Yes, really. But the swinger community is furious. Brett Chamberlain, director of Open, a non-profit for non-monogamous relationships, says Diddy's behavior has nothing to do with swinging. They're calling the defense a dangerous misrepresentation that spreads harmful myths as we speak. The jury just received 118 pages of complex legal instructions from Judge Arun Sub. Legal analysts say it's some of the most confusing jury guidance they've ever seen. Here's the breakdown. For a racketeering conviction, all 12 jurors must agree Diddy committed at least 2 crimes from a list of 10, which includes kidnapping, bribery, sex trafficking, arson, and drug distribution. The prosecution dropped a few charges, including attempted kidnapping and arson, but only need to prove 1 forced freakoff to lock in a sex trafficking conviction. Meanwhile, Diddy's family is unraveling. His twin daughters were seen crying in court, and 6 of his 7 kids have been attending the trial daily as their father's legacy falls apart. Diddy has been behind bars since September, and his net worth has dropped from $740 million to $400 million. Legal experts are divided. Some believe the prosecution nailed it. Others think there's reasonable doubt. But no matter what happens, Hollywood has changed forever. These allegations stretch over 2 decades and expose deep-rooted abuse at the top of the music industry. So what do you think? Guilty or not guilty? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button for breaking updates the moment the verdict drops.